And with the puffet as well this afternoon. Wonderful. So yes, good old afternoon being out here in the bush. Sometimes we don't always find the big things, but even the small things do count. You know, it's always nice and interesting just to kind of change it up a bit. But just don't forget, once again, tomorrow morning there is no live safari drive tomorrow morning, but there will be nice clips that will be played during that time. And then tomorrow afternoon, due to it is Earth Week, tomorrow afternoon we will be live. So make sure that you do join us tomorrow afternoon for our sunset safari. And same goes for Tuesday. But yes, thank you so much for everybody's comments and questions this afternoon. Muchly appreciated. Yes, it was always nice just being out here. Lovely day, weather-wise, fantastic. And well, tomorrow's another day. And I think it's again to be another warm day this side. So I'm sure we're all looking forward to that. But yes, make sure that you join us tomorrow afternoon, as I say, from 3:30 to 6:30. It is from the Wild Earth team, from Muscles and Paul, and from myself. Have a lovely Sunday evening further. Good night, everybody.
This program features live coverage of an African safari and may include animal kills and carcasses. Viewer discretion is advised.
Good morning and welcome to the Sunrise Safari, where the sun is struggling to rise here at Djuma Private Game Reserve on the western fringes of the Great Kruger National Park. My name is Jamez Hendrai, and back from leave, back in the hot seat, his muscles rippling, is Mpo. I hope you're all very well, wherever you happen to be on planet Earth. We are heading in a westerly direction on some male leopard tracks here. If you have just stumbled across the stream, you are watching a live safari. What is that, you might say? And the answer is, well, instead of guests on the back of the safari vehicle, we have Mpo, a giant cameraman and a camera. And we are broadcasting to you live from South Africa. We are on the hunt for a male leopard that walked past our camp sometime early this morning. Please do talk to us using the hashtag WildEarth on Twitter. You can go to Twitter and use the hashtag WildEarth. We'll answer any questions you have. We'll attempt to be friendly and kind to you, unless you are mean to us, in which case we'll probably be quite sarcastic with you. You can also use our YouTube chat stream or our website. My plan, and the plan of both of us, that's both of us, meaning me and Steve, Steve's the other guy out here at Djuma, is to try and follow up on a male leopard called Maritre, who was the unfortunate victim of a poaching incident. He had a snare around his neck yesterday. The vets treated him, and we'll go and follow up there and see if we can figure out what's happened to him. And we'll take whatever else comes on the way. I think that's all the housekeeping taken care of. Good morning, Maya Zotis. What a name, Maya Zotis. Maya Zotis. Hello, what's your name? Bob. And yours? Maya Zotis. Oh, I say. Now, there are tracks of a male leopard going along here. Now, who could this be? I seriously doubt that it is the young male Maripse. It's most likely the territorial male Molwati, Maripse's father. But it's difficult to say. Now, this tree coming up on the left-hand side here, this one here, has always been a major waypoint for leopards, a marking post for territorial leopards, and it tends to be the boundary between the territory of Molwati over there, the territory of Tortoise Pan over here, and those are the two males, and then the territory of Tlalamba the female and Shidulu the female that side. And their predecessors used to have that as a boundary. So it's always a good spot to just check on the ground to see if there isn't any sign. And I don't see any sign here. Olivia, you say welcome back to Muscles. Yes, it's good to have old Muscles back. I'm not sure how he feels about being back. The first drive back's always a little rough. X-Ranga, you say, nice to see Teddy back. Does it have a name? It does have a name. It's called My Daughter, isn't it? It's called My Daughter. Yeah, this leopard has not come this far. Alright, well, the question is, do we carry on in the hopes that he comes back onto the road, or turn around? We'll go a little bit further and then turn around, I think, and then head up towards the north. Right, you go and say hello to the fourth. I'll try and figure out what's happened with this male leopard track.
Good morning, and hello everybody. Hello, my name is Steve and I'm joined once again on camera by Banda. He's back in the hood. Hello everybody, I hope you're having a wonderful Saturday morning. Now, our male lion we saw last night at the end of show, he walked in this direction. We're sort of following his tracks now, but male lion, male leopard tracks, when they're hours old, it's difficult. It's not like following Tlalamba yesterday, you know. I've explained this before in the past, but my trackers back in the day, whenever I worked with a tracker, if there were female leopard tracks, they'd get off the vehicle and follow. If there were male leopard tracks, they wouldn't get off the car until we've driven pretty far, and then maybe they go in a block, we check around the block, okay, they haven't come out, then they'll walk in there. But both male lion and male leopard, they have a potential to walk incredibly far. So yeah, this road goes directly east back to Torchwood. We don't know where he came from. He suddenly was on Djuma yesterday. Just double check, he's still going in that direction. Yeah, can't really see the tracks yourselves in the camera now because it's just not the right light. Anna Marie, you ready to bumble on Saturday? Let's do it. Let's do it. Still feeling a lot from yesterday, everybody. I'm not going to lie. It was a very heavy day for me yesterday. And I had a dream of two lions coming into my dream. Two big male lions. I was sitting on a couch and they walked into the door and one walked away and the other one I had to push away with my hand on its face. Yeah, and then as I was getting the lions out of the door, a hyena tried to get in. And then I got the hyena out and I closed the door. Quite positive, I think. Courage. Determination. The ability to overcome challenges and obstacles, I believe. Anyway, if you have another interpretation of what that means, let me know. Two big male lions. Just pushed one away with my hand on its face. I mean, I don't think I'd ever think I could do that. I was just minding my business, sitting on my couch. Okay, so I was going to go left here, but we'll lose signal if we go left. So let's just keep going straight. Thanks, Darcy Miller. Panda, here's your message. He says it's nice to be back. Is it nice to be back, Panda? It's good to be back, eh? Okay, our male lion is still heading straight here. This is where we had our wonderful elephant interactions last night. Andrew, the video guy, today will bring some great sightings, you say. Nice giraffe tracks, lots of giraffe at the moment. I wonder if James has got an opinion. There's our male lion. I wonder if James has got an opinion on why we're getting quite irregular giraffe sightings on Druma. It's not just the same individual. Had a couple of youngsters, have had a couple of females, couple male adults, males. Because I mean, the time's gone by. We've had giraffe on and off, but every day since I've been back, I think there's been giraffe activity. We haven't seen them every day, but definitely fresh tracks and movement of them around. I feel like it might have been the late rain we've received, and a lot of the trees are going through a new foliage flush. Many people I've spoken to, when we had rain last week, they didn't have anything in the west. Arathusa or Elephant Plains, like, we didn't get any rain. So maybe a lot of the rain we've had has been actually quite localized to right here. And that's leading to us having some nice giraffe activity because of the available browse.
Oh, how time flies when you're having fun. Wild Earth is turning 17 and we want to make the years count. 17 years of achievements, close encounters, and special memories.
He's got it, and he's straight up a tree.
Come along as we reflect on our top 17 greatest moments. Here's to more years of connecting you to nature. Wild Earth, connecting with nature.
Now, apologies for not looking at you. I'm just trying to see on the road who's gone where. Who has gone where? And there was a bit of a scuffle with some hippopotamus, interestingly, in this part of the road. Luckily I wasn't walking around last night, so I didn't see any hippopotamus. It can be quite a dangerous affair. Right, there's a road here called Aubrey's Road, who was named after... Yeah, that's correct, Aubrey. Kelly, you say happy Saturday. You're hoping for a great day with good sightings. That's my wish for every day. A great day with good sightings. And we'll hopefully find you something other than the back of my head staring at the ground in the not too distant future. So the leopard came all the way up here. I think he's cut through the block and is now going to emerge onto this road with any luck. Now, I haven't had any word from the Sabi Sands, which is the reserve authorities now, and that means that I'm not really sure what the status of our young friend Maribre is at the moment, but I will keep you posted as the morning progresses. Let's go down to the Eastern Cape, where Morgan and Morgan and Eric, the Dreadlock twins, are ready to say hello to you.
Good morning everybody. Welcome back to another sunrise safari here in the hills of Amakhala Private Game Reserve in the southern part of the Eastern Cape, South Africa. It is a very chilly morning here at Amakhala. Hello everybody, welcome. My name is Eric, joined by Morgan behind the camera. And this morning we are going to be your eyes and ears on a beautiful start to the day. The sun is going to come up and it will appear in a few minutes. Well, not in a few minutes, I think in about 20 minutes time, give or take. And not too cloudy. The clouds are pretty spread out, I would say. No mist this morning, which I'm pretty happy about, because when we travel through the mist, it's incredibly cold. It's not pleasant. The mist does make everything a lot colder than what it needs to be. But just as excited to get this morning safari underway. Off the bat, where it was a bit too dark, I didn't even know what we were looking at before we got closer, but we already drove through the herd of buffalo this morning. They're very, very close to where we stay, which was quite nice, a surprise. They generally, when they're up on this side of the reserve, they generally go and feed on a little open patch very close to where we are, and that's where we found them. We've got our African goshawk. He's making a noise this morning, letting everybody know where he's going to be operating, or he or she is going to be operating this morning. And we've got some sunbirds. It is a sunbird. Yes, it is. The double-collared sunbird. Dark-maned lover, good morning. I trust you're doing well on a very chilly morning with a nice cup of coffee and a warm blanket. Yeah, the greenback Cameroptera are also out and about. The fork-tailed drongo, that's also a bird that we have not really heard in the morning. We see them, but the only time you hear them is when you actually see them. I can't see this drongo. This drongo is definitely a fair distance away from us, but Anna Marie, no new news on the three amigos. They obviously had their meal 2 days ago, well, 2 nights ago, and I'm sure this morning they're going to be moving. They might be moving off this morning, or they may have done it last night. Cheetah generally, not always, generally stay in one place or stay put in nighttime. However, our 3 amigos tend to do an awful lot of travel at nighttime, so it's possible they could have moved from where we saw them last night all the way to a new location. I don't think they would have gone through the tunnels. There's still water in the tunnel, so I think they're still on the main reserve. But they'll probably be looking to go to their favorite corner, favorite tree stumps, the eucalyptus stumps, where they usually like to be. And I'm sure that will happen, if it hasn't happened already, pretty soon, as they would have digested most of what they devoured those 2 nights ago. Andrew, the video guy, yes, please, give it to us. Bring it. We would like to start warming up. One thing I've always found pretty cool is the sun does start rising a lot earlier on the eastern side of the country before the western side of the country. That's pretty cool. Even, as central as the Eastern Cape, we're not really the center of South Africa along the coastline, but we're pretty close to it. And then the differences in the sun coming up here and the sun coming up in Durban, obviously, are very, very different, as well as the sun coming up in Cape Town and the sun coming up here. Edirin, it does sound like an amazing morning, and it does look incredible. Wow. That was pretty cool. They're still going. There was a reply to that jackal howling in the very distance. Yeah, that jackal that replied was quite far away. But the sound does travel incredibly far, especially, at nighttime, before majority of the day noises take over. But that was pretty cool. The black-backed jackal, that was.
Welcome back, everyone. Well, some whiteback vultures just perched in some dead trees. James and I walked and assessed this block the other day thoroughly, maybe not this far north, but we were very busy around this area the other day. I got quite covered in ticks. So something's going on. We're not quite sure what. But whiteback vultures on their own, we're not far from a water source as well, so it might be the only place that they were able to find purchase after giving themselves a bath. You know that whiteback vultures, or vultures in general, do keep themselves quite clean. Love to wash themselves regularly. It's possible but unlikely, Marula Shortcake. We're not that far away, but we're far enough away that they aren't relating to that story. And also, generally, when leopards have meat under trees quite well concealed, it's not always as easily seen as that of a lion kill. But I can't discount that fact entirely. Oh, that one on the left looks like it is eating something. Or is it playing with us? Oh, it's playing with it. It's a youngster. And it's so hungry it's eating the wood it's standing on. Be careful you don't eat too much of that branch, youngster, or it'll break underneath you. I feel like they've just been to the water source, the water body, at some point yesterday, and there wasn't really good temperatures, so they probably just hung out here again. But it's hard to say. You know, when you find just whiteback vultures, it's a very unreliable source of finding some form of carcass, especially when it's close to water. If you find whiteback vultures with a hooded vulture, or whiteback vultures with a tawny eagle or a battalier eagle, then you can be pretty confident that there's something going on. Granny Manga, they do. Vultures have noises that they make, but invariably these are noises they make when they're squabbling. I will play you the whiteback vulture noises that they make when they are squabbling over food. Are you ready to listen to this? That's the sounds of a flock feeding. The rest of them I don't really know their calls. This is a hooded vulture's call. I wouldn't be able to say if I heard this, I go, ooh, that's a hooded vulture, but let's have a listen. That's begging of a juvenile, followed by some quarreling adults. Bizarre sounds. I've never seen a hooded vulture nest, so I would never have heard those squabbling or the begging of the youngster. Barbara, when you see a flock of 20 to 100 whiteback vultures on the ground competing over food, a giraffe carcass or buffalo carcass, it is unreal to witness. There's so many visuals. The vultures are so visual orientated in their dominance, how they dominate over each other, how they compete with each other, and then it all just goes to pot when the leopard-faced vulture lands and all the all the whitebacks move out the way. So there's definitely that social order amongst the individual vulture species, and then other species have their own pecking order. Obviously with the leopard-faced being the largest and the white-headed the second, all the way down to the hooded. And I find the hooded vulture the most reliable. When you find a hooded vulture, go towards him and you'll find the meat. The meat will be close. They're the smallest, and I feel like they're able to get access to, or they can close in on their kids as they're still on the ground, because they're able to take off a lot easier than the other vultures. The other vultures are quite cumbersome, and they can quite easily get caught on the ground if a predator tries to go for them. But they've all gone back to sleep. That is the snooze button they just pushed. So 50, they are to a degree. I think the plight of the vultures is becoming more and more sort of well known. You know, in South Africa, we're having huge issues with the conservation of vultures. We have historically, and it's becoming absolutely paramount now that education and conservation efforts really go into the area of conserving these guys, because they are, you know, the cleaner uppers of the bush, you know, and unfortunately, and it's something we've discussed before, but it's happening at an alarming rate right now. Vultures are being poisoned for the traditional medicine market, being poisoned at large scale, and it's really not difficult to do so. The poisons that are being used are easily accessible, and you just need a dead animal, put it on the ground, and you poison it, and the vultures will come, and the poisoning will kill them. And yeah, the indigenous or the local cultural markets believe that the vulture has got such good eyesight that potentially it can see the future. So when it comes to good luck charms or fortunes telling the future, vulture medicine is being highly utilized lately, and it's a big concern, really big concern for conservation. Okay, well, we're going to move on from our vultures, and let's send you back over to Eric in Amakala.
We are bumbling around, and we are heading not all the way to the east, but we're heading somewhat east, and basically driving into the sunrise. And it is going to be poking, well, the sun, she's going to be poking her head out. I give it 10 minutes from now, I think. That's what it does look like. We've got these perfect orange over there, pink, purple behind us, candy floss clouds, soft fluffy clouds that are just touching the little early bit of that sunlight, and it does look stunning. It really does set the atmosphere up. I'm sure we are going to have the sun with us in no time, and I'm sure the animals are going to be thrilled to have the sun shining down on them, as no, it could well have been a very long cold evening for them. I don't think it was the coldest, but it's yeah, there's definitely a chill factor. Not very many animals out here. In fact, no animals at all. Unless okay, there are some, but not very many. There are usually large groups of general game sort of around this area, and I thought, now that the water's here, that they would be a little bit better. Cindy D, good morning, all the way from Amakala Private Game Reserve. We hope you're doing well. We hope that you're all strapped in and ready for our safari. I don't see any terrapins, but we're not going to take any chances. We'll avoid it anyway. Now, if I was a terrapin, that's where you want to be right now. See, it's not in the road. You have your own little pool, and there's no worry of cars coming down. Nice little bit of water in this water hole here, and that's why I thought most of the general game would have returned to this area. I would have thought that they might want to get in on this water here before it evaporates. But I don't think it's going to be evaporating anytime soon. The schedule for the weather for the next few days isn't supposed to get too hot. I think it will be here for quite some time. Flippy, this would be the first sunrise that we've been able to see in almost a week. The clouds have been sitting on the horizon that side for I don't know what. Every morning we'll have blue sky above us, open sky down that side, and clouds over there blocking the sun as it comes up. So, but they do become, well, they are generally quite nice, especially when there's mist in the basin, because the basin will be, if you picture it like this, the basin like that, and mist filling the basin completely. And when you get to the ridgeline, it almost looks like you could just step off the edge and actually drive along the clouds. But obviously not. And when the sun comes up over that, it does look spectacular. Now, we do have some animals over here. I'm just going to find a nice spot where I can pull off. I don't want them to run away. Don't run away. Good morning, you beautiful creatures. Have a look here. We've got some ostriches. We've got 2 females over there and 3 males. That's one of them. What is that? Oh, that is the heat from the bonnet. I couldn't figure out what was going on screen, but the heat waves over the bonnet are rising up. It really is a cold, cold morning. I feel like Thomas the Tank Engine, blowing all of the steam out of my nostrils and mouth. Gives me great amusement. I've been doing this ever since I was a little child. Now, these birds, we've seen them fairly close to us. And when was I? I think I last saw them about 2 days ago. And don't normally see them in that area of the reserve. Dylan, ostrich is your favorite bird? Well, ostriches are pretty cool birds. I class them as the tame velociraptors, as they look like velociraptors with a very, very long, a very thin and long neck, and they might as well have teeth in that beak. A peck from an ostrich is very sore. Very, very fast. Definitely the fastest 2-legged creature on Earth. There's nobody that can run faster than an ostrich. Absolutely not. They generally can get up to a speed of up to about 60 kilometers an hour. Maybe with a bit of adrenaline added, they could even get to 65, maybe just short of 70. That is very fast for only 2 legs. Most animals that have 4 legs, they generally do about 50 plus. A hippo can run at about 40, and a buffalo generally goes at about 58, which is quite scary. And this is why when you are on foot, buffalo can be quite scary. They'll come at you really quickly. The same with Kim. Yes, you can call them a flock, but my favorite comparison, my favorite collective noun for them is a wobble. A wobble of ostriches. And if you've ever seen an ostrich take off when they're startled, they do kind of do this zigzag wobble kind of thing where they move their bodies from side to side. Morgan's just going to change one of the ND filters so we can just get a bit of better lighting there. And so yes, a wobble is another collective noun for ostriches. Quite a hilarious one. Just like a bloat of hippos. Puma, then you will feel our pain. An ostrich bite is not something that should be taken lightly. It is sore. It is painful. And they normally don't do it once. They normally peck until you move away. If you didn't learn from the first peck, you'll learn from the third or the fourth. But like I said, ostriches are very, very quick. So if you ever thinking of trying to take something from an ostrich, I'd advise that you refrain from doing that, as you may receive a couple of injuries. Ostriches also do kick, and they've got a nasty talon, or a long, not a long talon. It's very close to a talon. It's like a fingernail on the end of their long, big toe, and if you receive that to the body, it can definitely cut you open and will leave a nasty scar / wound. And they'll continue doing that. They'll kick you repeatedly.
We have an exciting announcement. Wild Earth is launching a YouTube membership program. For a nominal monthly fee, members get an ad-free channel, prioritized questions, early access to videos, and many more perks. You'll get fun features like badges and emojis that'll make you stand out in the chat. YouTube memberships will help us to continue with our mission of connecting people with nature while giving you access to lots of our amazing content.
Hello everybody, Well, welcome back live with us here, and a little bit of an update on Maribs. He's got a terrible snare wound across his back, but you can see his head is up there. Oh, he's moving. He's been fed an impala by the Sabi Sands.
Basically just maybe 250 meters where you forgot to now.
And you can see he's moving, not too badly, but he was provided with some meat by the Sabi. Oh, he was doing some scent marking there. He was doing some scratching, urine spraying. And Sabi Sands provided him with an impala, and they've been babysitting him. We just arrived here, and the warden was here herself, and they've been here all night since yesterday's operation. Myself and Cam spent a good couple hours with Maribs yesterday until the vets got here. He moved off a bit, so we had to follow. And what actually happened is that Tlalamba was in the area, and she must have flushed something, because he went running off in that direction. Then he was looking and looking and looking. So he was hoping for her to provide him with a meal. We eventually got the vet in. The vet darted him. We went through the whole operation of removing the snare, cleaning the wound, stitching up where stitches were needed, and given some antibiotics, given some treatments for the ticks, and all of the things that are necessary. It was a very professionally done operation, I must be honest. And then they woke him up. Took a little bit of time for him to wake up because his condition. He's lost an enormous amount of weight. Everybody, he really has lost an enormous amount of weight. Okay, I think that is where his meat is. So we're going to try and reposition again. But I was just chatting with the Sabi Sands person now. Sorry, I didn't get James Richards' question there, Jared. And they said Tlalamba's been here all night, and she actually just left a little while ago. They seem to be following each other. Stolen a bit of his food, but it was to be expected. But the reason why they're visiting him, one of the reasons, is just to make sure that all the drugs wear off. Normally, the drugs take a few hours. You know, drugs are quite a complicated thing, everybody, but when an animal is immobilized, they don't regain their senses almost immediately. And so there needs to be this sort of caretaking period. They're wild animals, you know, we can't leave them in a cage, we can't hold them on the vehicle, you know, we've got to leave them in the wild. And while their senses aren't 100% okay, they run the huge risk of hyena, lion, other male leopard, and that sort of thing. So the guys stayed here all night with him, and because his condition is quite poor, they've just been a bit concerned with obviously how long the drugs are wearing off, you know. So obviously no one can really tell. His behavior is one of being quite lazy and quite lethargic, but that's understandable. He's very weak, and he has eaten a very large amount of the impala that they gave him. And the Sabi Sands have told me that they're going to be watching or being here on site with him for the next 2 days at least, and just monitoring the situation. Last night was the most important, and he's survived the night, and nothing's come and stolen his food apart from Tlalamba interacting with him to a degree. But it's hyena and male lion that need to be kept away if need be. But there he is, everybody. He's obviously a shadow of his former self, but we have confidence that he's going to be returning to full health. Obviously, it's no guarantee, as infections are real, but we'll be monitoring the situation closely, and we'll be keeping you abreast moment by moment, step by step. Okay, so James is at a watering hole. Let's go and touch base with him.
I am here at the Buffelshoek waterhole. Rumour is well, not rumour, I mean the fact is that Tlalamba is also around. I'm not sure Steve mentioned that, but she has had an interesting night with Maripse. We had a long... No, you got sound?
Yeah, sure.
Is that right?
Yeah.
We had an interesting conversation with the Sabi Sands warden, who was with Maripse for... well, she's been with him since 2 o'clock this morning. Probably in need of some coffee, as was her dog that was sitting next to her, also in need of some coffee. And she said that they had a very interesting interaction, Tlalamba and Maripse. He was up and walking around a bit, and she was just kind of following him. That's Tlalamba. And they are, of course, brother and sister, half brother and half sister, same mother. And, yeah, no aggression at all. She did steal a bit more of his food, which was unreasonable given that she'd stolen a whole carcass yesterday. But, yeah, she's still around here. I don't know what that means for where her den is, or if and when she's going to return to the cubs that we think she has, because she does appear to be lactating. All very difficult to say. Very interesting. But nice that they've had a very comfortable interaction with each other during the course of the night. And I'm glad that we could inform you of what was happening there. And I know a lot of you like to share screenshots and that sort of thing. I would refrain, if possible, from sharing screenshots of the wound, because it just tends to generate fairly unreasonable responses on social media. Up to you, that would be my advice. Here is a hippopotamus, and he's obviously not wanting to have too much of a swim this morning, having a gentle rest on the shallow parts of the dam. Franny, you said it sounds like Tlalamba was making him feel okay. Yeah, I don't know what she was doing. She's always been an eccentric cat, let's face it, in the best possible way. And now all is peace here. So I think we're all being very positive about Maripse, and we should be. But I mean, he obviously still has a lot of challenge to go. I don't know, James Richard. I think they probably would if they could. A hyena did come in and stole a piece of the carcass last night. Didn't go for the leopard. Would the Sabi Sands intervene if a whole group of them came in and threatened him? Yes, I think they would if they were there. I think they take a fairly practical approach to this. They have limited resources, which they deploy to great effect. And I think that if they can, help an animal that's being threatened and an animal that's been obviously hurt by human beings, then they will absolutely do that. Here comes a hyena coming down towards the water now. It's probably the very same hyena. But they're not going to risk their lives for it, and they're not going to risk the life of a hyena in order to save Maripse, if you know what I mean. So that they're not going to sort of shoot a hyena to prevent a damage to the leopard. Yeah. They'll do what they can, but they do, I think their approach is very much, look, there's a certain amount we can do. This is a wild system, and, they have to take a relatively practical slash harsh approach, where the thought is, if we lose one leopard, will he be replaced? And the answer is yes. And, that's probably the basis on which they'll assess the risk or the risk-reward of interfering. They've done a massive amount over the last 24 hours, and that they'll continue to do that. Does that make sense? There's a very nice hyena shot there with the reflection.
On the 30th of April, Wild Earth will be coming off the DSTV platform. We want you to come with us into a more sustainable future. How, you might ask? Well, YouTube is a brilliant way for you to enjoy the live drives. Come to our channel and you can enjoy the live drives for free. Alternatively, join our membership program and you'll get an assortment of other wonderful perks. We'll see you on YouTube.
It'll take a little while to warm up. Excuse the radio. But well, no mist down in the basin today, which I thought was going to be a given. As I did see, like when we were coming from the dune thicket, looking across the valleys, I could see there was some mist kind of poking its head out of somewhere, but clearly not down here. In the basin it does look beautiful. Very much chilly, lots and lots of movement of animals, lots of jackal tracks, brown hyena tracks. I've seen a couple of different sizes and shapes, which is cool. I've seen some big brown hyena, and then some rather smallish ones. It's possible it was on the same road. It's possible it was the same brown hyena. You know, sometimes the front paw, or generally most of the time, the front paw is bigger than the paw at the back, and that's just because of the longer legs at the front. In the front do support a lot of the weight, with the shorter legs at the back, you know, carrying the hip. And most of the business in for brown hyenas is here. Morgan's just going to change Indy's cards, making the brightness lower or brighter. I'm not too sure. Now everything is going somewhat well, although there is one little cloud that is going to block the sun eventually from us. Not a very big cloud, but nonetheless it's still going to do it. Blue jay fly, the elephants, from what I understand, are somewhere in the river line down there, very close to where, in fact exactly where they were, I think it was about 4 or 5 days ago. Are you no, you're not. You are Platana. Thought it was a terrapin. But the elephants in the area where we've come from is, from what I understand, I think it's just the Zika there. The young bull, actually the 18, or it should be 20, the 20-year-old with no tusks. Now what's nice is being at this elevated level, you can obviously look down and do a fair amount of scanning, but another pretty cool thing is from up here, a lot of the water, if there's water down there, the reflection of the sky comes immediately straight back to us and we can see it instantly. So we can see a lot of the places where there is a decent amount of water all the way down in the basin, which is pretty cool. It looks like Shelduck Pan is full, not full, but it's got a decent amount of water in. Flucky's Flay Pan has got some water in, and it looks like the potholes all along Fish Eagle Road are still full. Now those potholes are not just potholes, those are craters. They are deep, dug by elephants, maintained by warthogs and other animals rolling in them. Sometimes the rhinos will go and roll in them, but mainly used rhinos, buffalo and warthogs will go and roll around in those mud pools. Oh, that's not Fish Eagle Road, that's actually River Road, my mistake. That part of River Road is incredibly bad. Jackado, it can sometimes we do seem to think that we can see other animals more active. Like our plan is we're just waiting for it to actually warm up a little bit, and our plan is to go to the meerkats and see if they're going to be out and about. And generally meerkats are more active in the morning than they are in the evening. Oh goodness, there's someone behind us. I'll quickly just pull off for them and they can pass us. We don't want to be holding up their drive, but good morning. Most of the time, no, we can see they're more active in the morning than we do in the evening. Not always. A lot of the animals in Amakala are both very active in the early mornings and in the evenings. I think sometimes in the mornings you can get luckier with lions and their movements. Sometimes the behavior or the lousy, sleepiness can kind of catch up to them in the evenings, and sometimes they may not want to actually move around at all. Whereas sometimes in the mornings, after a long night, you can find them moving around, doing what lions do. So sometimes, not all the time, sometimes morning light can bring about different behavior in animals. Eric Marco, it does sound magical. We would love to be able to see if we can't come across those beautiful meerkats. But now our sun is going behind the cloud, and definitely did feel the heat start to slip away now. I'm sure we'll have it back in no time. While we're driving along this ridge line, having a quick scan, seeing what's down there. Doesn't seem to be much going on down there, but it does sound like there's something going on up at Djuma with James, so we're going to send you back up there and go and investigate.
Well, yes, there is a hyena, and the hyena has turned onto... he's gone into the block. There are apparently wild dogs on this reserve, on Djuma, and I think that's where the hyena's trying to go. And there's another vehicle looking for them, and so we're going to try and follow up there. That's going to be our plan. Steve's going to hang with the leopard for a little while with Maribs, just to make sure that if the hounds pitch up, they don't harass him. And then we'll see if we can not. This is On Safari. There. Right, let's keep going. I've still got sight of one dog. Stations' pack is now on the ridge crest between Hyena Road and Gari cut line, about 250 to 300 meters south of the boundary. They're still mobile west.
Okay, thanks, Jim Sam.
Currently, best approach is either to come in on the ridge crest on that game path in the southerly direction, or follow my tracks off Hyena Road. Right, so I know that this isn't the best view, and if you've just joined us and wondering why on earth we're sort of bashing through the bush like this, a pack of wild dogs on the hunt. Oh, they're running now, and this is a very tricky area. I can still see them, and you're going to get glimpses every so often, and we don't zoom in when we're moving like this because it's impossible to see what's going on. Yeah, we give you a quick view as they naturally they disappear. There's only 2 of them so far. We saw more than that to start with, eh? 3 or 4. Okay. It's very easy to lose them. They're jumping like that because I think it's wet. You say, Thelma. And Paul and his thumb are bringing luck. Yes, they are. These animals are now going down into the thickets towards the drainage line near Gari Cut Line. Just where, you know?
Coming up central southwest.
Yeah, I think your best bet is now going to be Gari Cut Line. Stand by there. The other thing is that nobody else around here is particularly keen on getting into a thick area like this because they've got guests on the back of their car, and there's nothing quite like turning around and finding a thorny branch sticking out of your guest's forehead. It's happened. Watch your head there. Right, it's going to be very hard in here. I'm going to try, obviously, and stay with them. Idarin, well, you know that the chances of my getting stuck are very high. I can't see them anymore. Stations, I've lost sight of them, going west into the into the drainage.
I'm here on Vulture's Nest at the moment.
Yeah, you need to cut the fuel. There they are.
Any stations on the lock of that?
It does look a little bit on the tired side, doesn't it? His eyes look very, very exhausted. Oh my goodness. Oxpecker, you're almost the size of that impala's head. Be gentle. Just be slow. Still learning. Here we go. Getting another spot that the impala can't often reach. Right near where the horns is just starting to push out. Oh, that's beautiful. Oh, it's a little one. It's a juvenile. And it's also joining the party, waiting for somebody to feed it. Yes, flappy feathers. Oh, shame. I can't get rid of them. Look at this, like they're having an argument. No, you leave me alone. I said don't go there. Shame, little one. You might have to buck and rear to be able to get those birds off. Holding on nice and tight to your fluffy fur.
How exciting, James. How exciting. It's exciting just hearing what's going on the radio. I don't know how James is communicating on the radio with the way I hear. It sounds like he's moving. So we do lose each other in places like that. It's not necessarily that it's because he's following wild dogs. It's just the fact that that little area that he's going into is a little bit of a dip. In our signal. And along this road, in about 500-600 meters, it's the same. It's a bit of a dip. But we've had a report that there are some lions around Chelapan. Could it be Chela herself? I don't know. There are 3 lions there, lionesses there. And there were 3 vehicles there until someone said wild dogs. And now there's no vehicles there, as you can imagine. Everyone is hound bound. Hound bound. So we're going to have a nice relaxing couple of minutes with some lions. Allow James to catch his breath and get out of that block. I was in that area yesterday. Kalamba took us into that drainage line yesterday. That's very interesting, everybody. We didn't notice until we left Maribs, but in the tree above Maribs is a duiker that clearly Kalamba put there. So she is on scene, and not only was she full yesterday, she was also actively hunting. Or maybe she'd already treed that duiker when she then got more food. So it's not impossible for leopards to do that. Maybe that was the reason why he went running in that direction in the first place, is he heard the duiker call, she treed it, he was trying to find her, we were following him, he couldn't find her, and then eventually, well, she decided to steal his food as well. What a clever girl. Okay, so I'm just gonna have to stand there for a second, and we are going to go through a bad single spot in a second. So there's a vulture again in the tree, scattered throughout the landscape at the moment, the whitebacks.
Out of the Gala, they are static developments and just on the western side of the link from Spaghetti Junction on Prince Road.
So much happening this morning, Anna Marie, you're right. So much happening. Saturday. It is Saturday, is it not? Yes. Okay, well, you stay with us, everybody, for a short bit longer before we go through this depression. If I do move forward, we will lose you, so we'll just wait a moment and just chill out with our white-back vulture on the branch. I'm just going to get an update. Rowan, so just confirm best approach is this at Link Road from Spaghetti Junction.
They're onto Dams Road. You'll see them there from the road. You'll see our tracks right there at that little link road that goes to Spaghetti Junction. You will see our tracks heading into the western side there of the Shaki. But they're in the open there. We'll find them.
Copy, thank you very much. The whiteback vulture, also known as the griffin vulture, because the tongues are forked, strangely enough, and possibly it helps them with feeding on meat.
a decent amount of animals over there. We've got red hartebeest, some zebras. Are those zebra? Yes, they are zebra. 2 groups of zebra, one at the top, one at the bottom. And it looks like there's hartebeest on Hartebeest Road. Quentin, indeed it is, and that's thanks to the rain. It wasn't looking like this a few days ago. Well, it wasn't looking like this last week before the rain, and now after the rain, everything is beautiful, green and lush. The animals must be over the moon. The amount of grass there is for them now, with all the brand new shoots, it will be nice and sweet as well. We'll have all the benefits and all the nutrients that they need. As a whole, the grazers should be generally very happy. Just gonna stop here. No. Have a look over to the field across from us. A beautiful setting it is indeed there for those zebra, and especially on a morning like this where it's quite chilly, they'll be utilizing their stripes to help warm them up. Obviously, we know that the black stripes do attract heat and the white stripes push it away. So those black stripes, they will be loving at the moment, as it will start moving their blood around their body just that little bit more and give it a bit of a warmth or warm up, and that should generally get their body temperature to the temperature that they want it at. So there are some Karoo scrub robins that are making a fair amount of noise in the bushes not far from us. And I'm sure you can hear them. It sounds like little birds having a bit of an argument. Now, as you know, or you should have seen in some of our adverts, Wild Earth is offering a YouTube membership program. There are some great benefits to having this membership. For one, that you will get a ad-free stream that you can pause and rewind while we are live. Go to your YouTube channel, you can click and you can find out more about the channel. It's it's a pretty simple process. It's not too difficult, and obviously most of your smartphones, most of your laptops, and most of your smart TVs will come with YouTube already preloaded on it. So all you have to do is go onto the YouTube app and subscribe and make your account, of course. So yeah, for those DSTV users who are wanting to make the change, I would suggest making the change to YouTube. It'll be quite easy, I think, a very good transition, if you will. Well, this is a lovely little glen that we are in. Hanu's mum, yes, zebra on the hillside is not something that we usually actually see. You know, I mean, you usually see the zebra on fairly level ground. You know, you would leave the hills and the mountains for the Cape Mountain zebra, not the plain zebra. But today it is the opposite. We've got our plains game up along the mountain, not the mountain, the hillside here. And I imagine that they are taking in every last little bit of the sun rays to warm them up. Ooh. We're going to send you now back up to James for a wild dog update.
Well, the wild dogs, I'm afraid, have managed to elude us. We chased them down towards that big riverbed area, and unfortunately nobody was able to pick them up the other side, and we took a while to get around. So we came to the waterhole here just to have a little listen and a wait. We've been here now for 3 minutes or so, 4 minutes, and they haven't pitched up. So, you know, it's one of those situations where you just don't know where to go. Do we go backtrack a bit, or do we assume that they've crossed over towards sort of the clearings near our camp? Not sure. I think what we will do... Oh, there's somebody coming up that road. Okay, so what we're going to do now, I'm going to reverse, and we're going to go out and onto the clearings outside our camp and just sniff around there. They were moving fast, obviously, they were on the hunt. And we'll see. But this is what happens with the wild dogs. They run so fast. Phew, so 50, busy morning, very busy morning. What? It's just it's a tree with yellow flowers. I thought it was a lion on a termite mound, but it isn't. So Steve has gone down that way. I think he's got 3 Nkuhuma lionesses. We'll find out from him shortly. But we're going to go up here and see if these hounds don't pitch up. So it has been a very busy morning and continues to be a busy morning. So this is the old Vuyatela camp where when Juma used to have guests, this is where they would come and stay. And we wonder if the dogs haven't gone around the other side of that. We'll go and see if we can find them. You can go across to the fourth, who has managed to catch up with those 3 lionesses.
Cats and dogs, everybody, cats and dogs. Hang on one second, we have relocated on these 3 lionesses. Standing by, Sabelo. Yeah, I'm not copying you if you are speaking. Yes, you're most welcome. Okay, so some sleepy cats. What have they been up to? They came in from the south. Both of these are adults. You can tell they're both suckled before. No fresh suckle marks. Those are all little flies on the body. Hundreds of little flies. And a semi-full belly. They can get fuller than that. There we go, Mina. Cat today is off to a good start indeed. It's nice to get a brief visual of Maribs. And while we know that Tlalamba's in that area, firstly because the So obviously Anne's told us about that. She's been there all night. We saw her there yesterday, but it's very interesting to see that she'd also treed a daycare, probably before any of what happened yesterday took down. And everything that happened yesterday. So, very interesting. Nkuhuma Pride, I'm almost certain. 3 members. Probably ate an impala. Probably ate an impala in the night. Bianca, nothing like a Saturday morning snuggle, you're right. Very nice little snuggle puddle. She was busy grooming. Nice, cool.
Animals are on Gallagher shortcut heading towards where the main access.
Such cool conditions this morning. Giraffe Girl, some lovely sounds. Giraffe Girl, love your opinion on. Let's quickly go to James. He's got his dogs again.
Here they are. The hounds of wildness. Phew. Yeah. You know, it's quite lucky that one still gets excited by this sort of thing, because when one has been doing it for such a long time, one can tend to get bored by such things, but not me with these guys. 4 wild dogs. So I don't know which pack this is. I don't know if it's a piece of a pack or if it is a complete pack. I also think they're going to cross out of the reserve and make life unpleasant for us by leaving. Oh, no problem, Annalie. We love seeing painted wolves. I don't know where you think you're going, buddy, but the rest of your pack's going down here. Animals now going onto Zoe's road. The other thing is that it seems that everyone else operates here at a quarter the speed that Wild Earth does, which means that by the time anything happens with these animals, everyone else has hardly blinked. Right, so they're just checking out an interesting smell there. Obviously. Not sure what could be smelling on that tree. All right, on we go. And Paul, ready? Thank you, tell me more. Yes, we do our best. We do our best. The distinctive smell of stinky dog in our nostrils. Please excuse me jumping on the radio every so often. Obviously things happen with great speed. Ah. Right, so we think this might be the pack with 1 male from the 6-pack and 3 females from the Liupan pack, or the other way around. Whew. 1 female from the 6-pack, 3 males from the Liupan pack. Liupan pack. Right, let me just get out the way for these guys. Oh dear, Rusty's starting to sound a little rough. I'm just going to go forward and then I'm going to have to move out the way so that these other guys can have a look. Otherwise, all they're going to see is Paw's substantial muscles. Not much else. There we go. Whew, would be nice if they sat and had a little play. Famba. Cool.
This morning we did have some lions. Cedric's probably going to follow that one. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
They're moving west between Zoe and Impala Road for your fellow access side. They're busy trying to keep up with them.
We can count. She's going to fall down again in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. She's going. Oh, it's not going to last much longer. She's got a food belly. Your eyes are very sleepy. Your eyes are getting very heavy. Okay, so we're going to stay with our lions here, and it sounds like Eric is spending lots of time with the meerkats. Let's go check in with them.
We're here at the meerkat den, and it appears everybody's still sleeping. Now, obviously, it does get a bit cold in their burrows at night time. In their burrows, they spend a lot of the time cuddling, snuggled up to each other to try and keep their body heat the same, and to also benefit everybody else's body heat. Now, when the sun is shining like this, you would expect that they'd be out and about, because this is when they warm up. Now, unlike some animals, mostly actually humans really, but other animals as well, meerkats don't have a fat reserve, so they don't have body fat, meaning they are slim, cut, slender, which means they get colder very, very easily. Because obviously fat is what helps keep us nice and warm. When the body's cold, it will burn fat. When the body's tired, it will burn fat. So they don't have any reserves, in a sense. So they do need the sun, and they do need each other when it gets really, really cold. And I think they are too snuggled up in their burrows to even think about moving out. But if they came out their burrows, they would be greeted by this lovely, lovely sun that is warming me up quite nicely. Not a decent amount of birds in this area. We've had the Cape Longclaw. Alana, yes, birds of prey. I think birds of prey are probably their main problem when it comes to predators. That's probably the one that they have to watch out the most for. They've got to watch out for jackal buzzards, pale chanting goshawks, African goshawks. What else? Secretary birds, maybe. Booted eagle, martial eagles, long-crested eagles, yellow-billed kites to an extent. But no, that's probably about seven of maybe 10 birds of prey in this area that will go for meerkats. So yes, they've got to watch out. And they usually do have protocols for this type of situation. They will have a centaur, and the centaur is the one that sits on top of a termite mound or sits on top of a bush, on top of a tree, and he keeps a lookout. He keeps a lookout to the sky and keeps a lookout on the floor for both ground and aerial threats. And obviously, if he sees an eagle or some form of bird of prey in the sky, he'll sound the alarm, and everybody will either scurry back to the burrow or they'll find somewhere else where they can take shelter or refuge to protect themselves. I don't think you'll be able to hear it, but it's something that I can hear. And it sounds to me like it's a black-winged kite screeching. It sounds like two of them screeching to each other. It's not a very nice sound. I'm not going to try and imitate it anymore, but it's a kind of screeching scream. And that's usually something that they do when they or trying to annoy each other, fluff each other's feathers up. Trying to steal something, steal a meal from each other. Anna Marie, it is very nice to have such a beautiful warm day here. We have missed these warm days. Let us not forget that the air is still cold. It is warming up lovely here, but we are still going to experience some rather cold conditions on the way back. It's actually getting louder, so you may actually be able to hear the kites now. On top of that, you'll hear the meow, and that is the Cape longclaw. Also used to be called the orange-throated longclaw. I don't know why we changed the name. I don't think we need to hear the impression of the black-winged kite. There's a ant-eating chat. It's also making a bit of noise behind us. And there was a wryneck as well. That was just behind but basically between the zebra and the meerkat then. And he was making a decent amount of noise. And most of the birds that were close to us that were making noise have decided that they're going to not make noise anymore. The zebra are warming up. You can see they're not really doing much, just standing there. And they're standing with majority of their body or majority of surface area facing the sun. And that's for their black stripes to harvest that heat and to use it for themselves. No visitors as of such. Very, very quiet here. But we'll sit here a little bit longer and see what happens. In the meantime, we'll send you back up to Steve to have a look at his lions.
Thanks, Eric. Well, you haven't missed much, everybody. Our lioness collapsed as soon as you went off air, revealed quite a nasty wound underneath her chin, and then rolled over. These animals are very tough. They can undergo incredible wounds and injuries and somehow survive them. So we talk often about breakaway prides and how they form. There haven't been many buffalo around of late, and so a pride of 10 or so feeding on one impala leads to conflict, leads to confrontation, leads to a lot of animosity. They have to kill lots of impala in an evening to sustain themselves, so you quite often find them breaking off into smaller groups. They will reunite with each other if they can, but if those groups separate for any extended period of time, potentially could form a breakaway. Sounds like there's a leopard on power lines, and James is going to quickly see if he can catch up with. Cat today is smashing itself now. Female leopard walking west on power lines. What's your favorite ant? Sleeping lions? Okay. Beautiful sun. 3 round cats sleeping on the floor, on the ground. The subadults up on the left there. You can see no visible mammary glands yet. And then 2 adults here. Oh, look at the stretch. So I reckon the female leopard that James might imminently be finding is going to be Shidulu. So everybody, please join our YouTube membership program. There are some great benefits. Best one being you're able to add free. Okay, let's quickly go to James.
Right, well, things are all kicking off here. The dogs we lost. Aubrey came around. Aubrey is a guide here at Juma, and Shidulu the leopardess, I think it's Shidulu, it's a female leopard, is coming along this road. There she is. Shall we wait? No, let's carry on a little bit further. She's quite close to the western boundary, so we're not going to have a long sighting of her. Unbelievable morning. It is incredible. You know, some days there is literally nothing to see here, and then other days that's what you get. Excuse the glorious wheel there of the Toyota Land Cruiser. Phew. Our own Toyota Land Cruisers will be making their debut next week. Do you want to go further forward? Yeah. You don't like that shot, people? You don't think it's going to win you an award with a power line, and an aluminium wheel? Billy, I'm afraid I didn't get that comment. All I got was which I don't think is what you said. Oh, she's running into the bush here. I think she's stalking something. There we go. Billy, you say this morning has been insane. It certainly has been insane. Yeah, that looks like Shidulu to me. I mean, what a day. Yeah, that's a very distinctive looking cat. Whew. I don't know about you and Paul, but I feel like I've been put through the ringer this morning. Yeah. We got into the block there looking for those dogs, and because it was no sun, I actually got a bit disorientated and drove a bit of a circle. But we managed to make our way out. We have an exciting announcement. Wild Earth is launching a YouTube membership program. For a nominal monthly fee, members get an ad-free channel, prioritized questions, early access to videos, and many more perks. You'll get fun features like badges and emojis that'll make you stand out in the chat. YouTube memberships will help us to continue with our mission of connecting people with nature while giving you access to lots of our amazing content. Right, so for those of you who've just rejoined us, the wild dogs have arrived in the sighting of this leopardess. The leopard is still sitting next to the tree. The dogs are moving that way. Frankly, I don't know what to do. Do we stay with the leopard or with the dogs? Yeah. I'm really in a 50-50 position. Let me go forward. I feel like the leopard is certainly a more relaxed option. You got it there. Those dogs are about to cross west. Back a bit. Yeah. And now she's moving.
I'm crossing on a jimmer.
Stations' pack of 4 has pitched up on the power lines, mobile west still. I'm going to stay with Shidulu. Orbs is also with Shidulu.
James, confirm you have the Makoa, the sovereign west towards Triple M.
Affirmative, probably about 150 meters east of Triple M.
Copy. I'm on the tele access. I'll come around so I don't disturb you guys in for your tele or on the power lines.
There we go. I can hear somebody's just found the dogs on the main road. Phew. What a day, everyone. What a day. Station's pack of 4 has just crossed onto Triple M from the power lines on Vuyatela. They've been left unattended in that direction.
James.
Go ahead.
James, just confirm I heard Ingwe there as well. There's Mashallah. Is there Mashallah and Ingwe on Juma?
Yes, affirmative. 2 packs of dogs. The dogs, one pack's just crossed out, and the other pack was mobile west on the northern boundary with a service vehicle, and then Shidulu here on the power lines, also slowly mobile west.
Fantastic. Thank you very much for that update. Yeah, we're in the area on Troller chasing Mahapat to that multi-man.
Phew. I've done a lot of speaking on the radio today. Oh, something's running. They're running. The dogs are chasing. Dogs are chasing the impala, and the leopard's chasing the impala. Leopard and dogs after a young impala. Okay, we're going to move. Unbelievable scenes here. What a day. Well, hold on again, everyone. If we lose signal, I'm sorry. This could be a serious sighting. So that young impala was flushed. I can't hear anything. It's incredibly thick in here. There is a little clearing through here. Sorry about the bashing and boshing and mashing and mushing. There. Oh no, that's the vehicle. Orbs, have you got anything there? Okay, she's coming this way. I think that impala may have escaped. Let's just go forward a bit. Yeah, Rosemary, that is the truth. Juma is on fire this morning. There she is. There's the leopard. She hasn't got an impala or a wild dog. think she's listening actually. There we go, she's moving there. I'm just going to stop here. It's not going to be a good view, but whew. The rest of the pack has crossed west out of Djuma. I do apologize if I'm sounding a bit garbled, everyone. It's quite difficult for my small 1 megabyte brain to keep up with what's happening here. Yes, Gina, it does feel rather crazy. Wild dogs chasing an impala, leopard chasing wild dog, and Mpho and I chasing it all. It's Mpho who's taking the real bashing. He's sitting up pinion here. I can duck behind the dashboard. He just gets whacked in the face while trying to protect the camera. Okay, let's go forward a bit. There's a little clearing up ahead here. Grief, this is a horrible area. Leopard Queen, don't hold your breath. You might die. You see her? No. She hasn't passed, surely. There she's gone in here. You got her? Whereabouts? Shall I stop? Oh, there she is. Phew. Now, some of you might not understand what I'm doing on a radio. In these private game reserves, there are lots of lodges around, and everybody's got different traversing rights. And so you need to try and keep everyone updated on the radio, because lots of people obviously want to bring their guests to see sightings like this. And obviously when it's kicking off like it is here, it's quite tricky to keep everyone informed. And you combine that with the incredible inability of the average guide to listen to the radio. Whew. There she goes. And a very good point there, Jarrett. This is a great way, a great advertisement for you to join our YouTube channel, because you can pause and rewind moments like you just had there. So you can go to our YouTube channel, click on join, especially if you're currently watching on the DSTV bouquet, because you can't do that there and you will get served advertisements there. And if we do come off that platform, which is quite likely at this stage, the best thing you can do is to come across to YouTube. If you do not want us to come off that platform, please do go to our petition and sign it. It's not our petition, the viewer put a petition up. It's now gone with 16,000 signatures. And we'll tweet a link to how you can sign that now, if you would like to. I don't know. We're going We haven't managed to break the vehicle yet. You can see her tail there. Oh, here's a dog. So this dog is looking for the rest of the pack. That's why he's making that who call. The leopard has gone off towards the left-hand side. She can smell the leopard. He can smell the leopard. I think the leopard's on the termite mound. The leopard's on the termite mound. Dog is going for the leopard. Dogs and cats in the wild and in the domestic situation are not good friends. We're just going to help. Aubrey's going to get down through there. Now, in fact, that's quite a nice... You would have seen the vehicle there and how difficult it is to get a big car through there full of guests. It's much easier to just hit and paw on the back of the head with the odd bush. So the interesting sound that the dog was making there, that kind of growly noise, smelt the leopard, then saw the leopard, then went for the leopard. Yes, Franny Joe, I think we have earned a good breakfast. I think that's a good point. I think we've earned a very good breakfast. Now I wonder if we're not going to find that leopard up a tree.
Must be she's running straight west.
Yeah, so we think she's run west. Let me just carry on here. I think we've lost. We may have ended the sighting. Okay. Pew. We'll carry on down here. I just wonder if the leopard didn't go into a tree. She went down here, Aubrey said, and the dog carried on towards the west. Sorry, Paul. One day we'll find a nice... One day we'll take you tomorrow where you're not going to get hit in the tree, in the face by anything. All right. I think we're going to Steve now, I'm not sure.
On the 30th of April, Wild Earth will be coming off the DSTV platform. We want you to come with us into a more sustainable future. How, you might ask? Well, YouTube is a brilliant way for you to enjoy the live drives. Come to our channel and you can enjoy the live drives for free. Alternatively, join our membership program and you'll get an assortment of other wonderful perks. We'll see you on YouTube.
if you can see heat waves. Not sure exactly what's going on. We thought it was the bonnet originally, but now we're sort of shooting not over the bonnet. And another apology for the very, very loud plane that is flying over Amakala at the moment. I hope it doesn't chase away our meerkats. Very low for a plane to be flying over a game reserve. Suspicious. Oh, look at that. You can see them crawling around the place, trying to get from one place to another, where they can just warm up a little bit. Oh, there we go. They're all starting to come out now. Oh, these meerkats need patience. Lots and lots of patience in order to have them come out. The last time that we were here, we did struggle to see them. In fact, we didn't see them at all. That was also on a fairly windy-ish day. And wind is never a good thing, especially for animals who can fall prey to lots of different other predators. If it's very windy, it's very difficult for them to actually hear anything sneaking up behind them. So they prefer not to go out. They stayed in their burrows. And now meerkats have, well, I see one. Maybe one or two, and they seem to have disappeared. But we'll wait here a little bit longer and see what happens. But in the meantime, we're going to send you all the way back up to the excitement up in Djuma.
Well, it has settled slightly. We've got Shidulu. We managed to find her again in this kind of dodgy drainage system. I think if she moves from here, it's going to be very difficult to follow her. She's such a distinctive looking cat. I haven't seen her for so long, and it's really nice to spend a bit of time with her. She looks, I mean, yes, she does look like Kalamba because she's got spots on her, but really, when you study their faces, it's so different in shape. Yo, Itzy. This has been an Ayoba drive, very much so. For those of you who don't know what Itzy means, Ayoba means great, basically. Everything's good. Ayoba. My wife regularly tells my 18-month-old daughter that she's not being Ayoba. Italy, you are not being Ayoba. All right, so she's going to cross out of the reserve now, unfortunately. Stations Shidulu Mobile West now towards the power lines, towards Triple M, probably about 150 meters from there. Let's carry on. I'm going to try and drive in here. We might need Steve to come and fetch us, though. Right, well, that's the end of that. Yeah. Can't go any further. I'm glad we stopped there. This bush is not Ayoba. This is not Ayoba bush. Alright, let's go to the wharf. Apparently our signal is not very Ayoba right now.
The radio does not stop, everybody. It has not stopped. The wild dog and Shadulu sighting has taken up a lot of bandwidth, and everyone has forgotten about our 3 lionesses here. Well, James, good luck. Good luck either staying with Shadulu or getting out of that area. I know exactly where you are. Really looking forward to Paul's facial expressions when I ask him how his morning went. Facial expressions and some of the noises that he'll make. So I believe Giraffe Girl has got an answer for me. So Giraffe Girl, you reckon it's just pure luck? Pure luck. Okay. I was hoping for a little bit more than that, but I'll take it. We go through giraffe phases. Can you hear the black-headed orioles calling? Orange-breasted bush shrike. Rachie, you are correct. You are correct. Chela was originally called Hairy Chin. And then there was another nickname associated to her according to someone that everybody knows who had a hairy chin, and then that was deemed to be inappropriate and it was changed. And then that was one of the reasons why she was given a new name. Now, in my opinion, all lions have got hairy chins. It was before my time that she got named that. In 2019, when she denned pretty close to where we are, she denned in 3 different places with the same litter of 4. Having lost 3 of them, 1 of them survived. Pretty close to where we are now at Chelapan. They couldn't care less, Jasmine, you're right. They own the night. And they were busy at one point. They'll probably be quite close to this place this afternoon. Shadulu probably not so much. And the wild dogs, well, who knows where the wild dogs will be.
This is On Safari.
So our meerkats have lost interest in us and they're now paying attention to this jackal. I don't think anything is going to happen. I think if that jackal does come closer here, he's probably just going to scare the meerkats away. More than anything else, I don't think the meerkats are going to stick around for too long if that jackal does get a bit closer. But it doesn't seem like he's coming this way. Honeybee, it is a lovely, lovely scene. There's a zebra right in the background there. And he's watching us, watching the meerkats, and the meerkats are watching him, watching us, watching them. Lost interest now. And that jackal's actually going further down the slope. Towards the east, we are facing the south. And he's going towards the east, so that's good. Good for us, good for the jackals. Not good for the jackals, good for the meerkats. They really, really are absolutely amazing animals. You can hear the Cape Longclaws. Sound a little bit like cats. It's just a different kind of call. It sounds very. When we were taught about them, we were taught that they're supposed to sound like a laser pointers or laser guns. So they're supposed to make a fitu 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 noise. I haven't heard any of that. It's more just a meow, 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 meow. Still those two meerkats out. Not too sure. The others have just disappeared. They don't want anything to do with what's going on outside. So there must be at least about 5 or 6 long claws here. Benji, no, not really. I mean, if they walk over it, they can maybe kick a little bit of soil into the holes, but not really much damage can be done. It's my understanding that there used to be a homestead here, and a lot of the resources that they used to build that homestead, a lot of the rubble is sort of kind of hanging around here and has been almost covered in soil over the years. And the meerkats have made the rubble almost their den, which is perfect for them because obviously in amongst piles of rubble, there's lots of little kind of tunnels and little pathways and little chambers. It's perfect for them, you know. If it weren't the meerkats, I'm sure the Dassies would have moved in. But definitely, and if it's rubble, then it's very sturdy, very strong. An animal like a zebra shouldn't really disturb it too much. Oh my goodness, an ant-eating chat has just landed behind that meerkat. Zebra in the background, big yawn. Agatha, indeed. It was nice to see a jackal. That's the... Yeah, it's the second jackal. I think it's the first jackal that we've seen today. I know we saw one yesterday, but wasn't interested in stopping for us. Just continued this little trot. I think the last nice sighting of jackals we had were those two, that pair that we had almost before the beginning of the rain, when the elephant herd was still up in the dune thicket, and we had Balara and who was it? Balara and Kola, I think it was, that we had in front of us. But that was last week. Only one meerkat I can see now. The other one is probably still around. I don't remember seeing him scurrying off into the burrow. Mind you, they do have different entrances and different exits. They haven't just got one exit and one entrance. They've got multiple ones. And that is for safety reasons. Obviously, just now a snake crawls into one. A big snake crawls into the burrow. They want to be able to escape, and they escort their little babies out, because a snake will definitely snag a baby meerkat, no problem. It's beautiful and still now. Our birds seem to have calmed down. Vanson, indeed, the termite mounds are made by the termite themselves. They do look a little bit man-made, like a giant pizza oven. But no, they're naturally made by the termites using saliva, feces, and the soil to make this incredibly hard substance, which it's not indestructible, but very, very, very close to indestructible. No, definitely damage a car substantially. Some more heads poking out at us, looking this direction. So, very nice that we've been able to have these meerkats out for us. And as I always say, it is a very patient game that you have to play with them. Otherwise, we just don't see them. Not all meerkats are like this. Some meerkats are more habituated than others in some areas. Obviously, in this area, Namakala, not everybody comes to see them every single day, so they get used to not having the cars here. And being a relatively new-ish, not really new, but a relatively new-ish colony on Namakala, they are still a little bit wary of the vehicles, and naturally so. Oh, there's a little baby. That was cute, man. Some more coming out. So, I'm just trying to find a little place to lie, to sit in the sun. Oh, that's pretty cool. We are going to send you now back to the sleeping lions with Steve.
Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. Very comfortable. Very comfortable. Flat, fat cats.
So I left those two Mashola, the top corner of Waiatela and Sandy Patch heading northwest, maybe towards Bay of Van Dam or something. I'm leaving them open locked from there. I'm also making my way over from Chima. Thank you.
Bridget, you can spend the whole day staring at sleeping lions. Well, Tone and I would stay here all day, but we do have to get back for breakfast and a meeting.
She's mobile east. West, sorry, she's mobile west.
Jill, it really depends, I mean, some individuals who get named purely on behavior. What generally happens is leopards that get found or den on an area, when they get found, they will get named after their first year by the first person who found them. And lions, well, lion prides obviously get their names depending on where they occur. I'm not always sure exactly where the names of the prides come from, but sometimes individuals will get a name dependent on all sorts of different reasons. Sometimes it's just we don't want to be calling them the sub-adult anymore, or there's some particular behavior that they're going through. Or for the storyline, I mean, what we have here on this show is quite a storyline, and it helps to say, well, this male versus that male, rather than male 1, 2, and 3. So they develop characters, but how they always get named, it can be different, and it comes about in many different ways and forms. I don't think, especially with the lions, that there is an actual concrete narrative.
Oh, how time flies when you're having fun. Wild Earth is turning 17 and we want to make the years count. 17 years of achievements, close encounters, and special memories.
He's got it, and he's straight up a tree.
Come along as we reflect on our top 17 greatest moments. Here's to more years of connecting you to nature. Wild Earth, connecting with nature.
Right, welcome back to those of you who've just joined us. Shidulu is still with us. She's on the road in front of us on the western boundary of Djuma, and I'm pretty sure she's going to continue towards the west, but at the moment she's just wandering up this section of road, so we'll stay with her while we can. If she goes off the road, I'm afraid my patience for driving off the road is now worn very thin, and so has some pause. Other way around, Nicola, would she hunt? Well, not necessarily. Would she hunt a wild dog? Yeah, she'd kill a wild dog puppy, absolutely. But you saw there, or you may have seen, that when she came across, or when the wild dog came across her, single wild dog, the dog went for her and she ran. So the big thing there is not that she's not faster and stronger than a wild dog, because she is. It's that she just can't afford to get injured, whereas the dog is prepared to take more of a risk because it lives in a pack with friends. Now that view that you've got of her there is just, when you drive onto a road like this, it's what you want to see, that gentle lope of the Prince of Cats in the distance, and you think to yourself, oh, something is right with the world today. And then you go and hopefully spend some quality time in close proximity. Glorious. Okay, shall we drive on? Shoo! Roy, happy birthday. You said it's been a great safari to celebrate your birthday, start your birthday celebrations. Yes, it has been some morning. Roy, that's a very sneaky way of getting a birthday shout out. We don't normally do those. I'm just giving these guys the chance to get across. Hey? I will do that, thank you. He says, when we've got a moment, please come over 6 cold ones for helping them find this leopard. There we go. Bye-bye, Shidulu. Famba Gatle. And she's going into Aratuza, and that is the end of that.
To the Western Channel.
Goodbye, my dear. What a morning we've had with you, and we are very grateful to have seen you. What are you laughing at? There she goes down the road. All right, let's go and see the man who completed the cat trick today, not with a cheetah, but with a mere cat.
So we completed the cat trick. We have left our meerkats bathing in the sun. We are now slowly starting to head back towards the western part of the reserve. Still got a plenty of time. There's still lots of animals that could potentially be seen along this very, very bumpy, eroded road. Nonetheless, we're still doing it. Same. I do feel for the maintenance team on Amakala, because they fix these roads, they make them go from horrible to something that's almost like a 2-ply road, and then the rain comes and washes all of their work away, and then they're back to square one. It's not always ideal, not the best. And obviously with there being so many vehicles operating on a Makala, you know, one good road, when it gets wet, you take 10 vehicles driving down that road and the road goes straight back to square one. That's also one of the reasons why they close a lot of the black roads. While the quality of the roads down. And we especially don't want to get to that dangerous sort of the dangerous place, in a sense. We don't want it to be dangerous to drive on the road as well. But lots and lots of birds, very, very active at the moment. I think it's taken a bit of a while for them to warm up. Canine girl, the views of a Makala are just something special. They really are. And on a day like today, it's very clear. There isn't necessarily that haziness that we usually have in the air. And that's quite nice. Well, that does normally obscure us from seeing very, very far. Even if it's beyond the reserve, the surrounding mountains are always nice to admire.
Experience captivating wildlife documentaries showcasing incredible animal behavior for free by visiting lionmountain.tv or downloading the app, accessible on both Apple and Android platforms. It was a big puddle, very big puddle. Now we are on the flats here, where there usually is a bit of life. Generally bird life, lots of bird life around here. Just seen what looked to me like a brown-hooded kingfisher, just by the flight pattern and the size of the beak. There's lots and lots of fiscal strikes that hang around this area, mostly because obviously there's mice here, there's small birds as well. There's lots of different species of crickets and beetles and bugs and all sorts here as well that they will prey on. There's normally a common buzzard around, and a pale taunting goshawk. He only sits on a tree over there. Haven't seen them in a while.
Well, what an action-packed morning it's been. Action-packed. I suppose the least action we had. Oh, and here's a male leopard track here. Very nice male leopard track. We're gonna find a male leopard now. Well, just add it to the list. Add it to the list of Cats Day experiences. Well, James had a whacking crazy morning with wild dogs and then Shadulu. We caught up with the recovering Marips. The area is still closed. The Sabi Sands is monitoring it. They actually requested that we come there this morning and have a look. So everything is in their hands. They're being very, very, very professional and very good in their approach. And it's an issue that they are taking incredibly seriously, everybody. Incredibly seriously. But as James was discussing on Safari yesterday, if you didn't get to see that, you should go back and have a look at the first 15 minutes of On Safari, where James really goes into the detail of the story and the issues. And it is a much larger issue than really can be looked at as one isolated incident. It's occurring across the Kruger National Park, it's occurring across our conservation areas. And it does stem from poor governance, which spills over into poor management, and poverty. So, Stacey, it's been a very interesting morning, and I suppose we needed a little bit of lightness today after yesterday. And James's heart rate has definitely peaked. I don't know if he's going to need to exercise today, but I'm sure he will. His energy has, his heart rate has peaked, and Paul's definitely going to just... I'm very excited to see him, Paul's reactions when you see him now, about how... Ooh, he's going to have some nice noises, eh? Panda knows exactly what I mean. Earth Lover, you've had your fair share of heart rate raisings this morning. Yeah, it's been nice and relaxed for us. Nice and relaxed. Nice to just tone it down a little bit. And as Cam would say, on a morning like this, it's a great morning for breakfast, which is coming right up. Maintenance vehicle on their way to Tambeta. Ah, hey, December. His name is December. It might be because he was born in January, I'm not sure. Probably born in December. I've never asked him, I shall. Next time I connect. So everybody, it has been an enticing, enjoyable morning with meerkats and general game, jackal and zebras, wild dogs, taking James across Djuma to the Duchess of the West, Shadulu. A couple of Umkuhuma lionesses with full bellies and maribs recovering on his reverie up in the northeast. Everyone, don't forget to check in for On Safari this afternoon at 3 o'clock. I'll be there with Panda. Looking forward to the highlights. But we will be joining you straight off that for live drive. So have a wonderful day until then. Goodbye.